Ladies and gentlemen, friends, my compatriots from across the planet, I am Nikhil Parekh. It is truly my privilege that I can give you a recitation of my poetry. In this video, I shall be talking about my book titled One God, Poems on God Creator Volume 2, as well as giving you a recitation of different poems from this book. So let me commence with an introduction to this book of mine. Friends, this book, which has 50 differently titled poems, is actually volume 2 of the book titled One God, Poems on God Creator, 522 pages. A profound dedication, a ramification of the innumerable omnipotent fragrances of life that I have smelt by the grace of God. I am grateful to Him for enlightening me about His chapters of invincible creation and considering me worthy enough to describe His unparalleled splendor in a few words and in the shape of this book. A salient tribute to His undefeated power. Prologue. The compilation of poems depicts the omniscient Creator in His infinite, unconquerable shapes and forms. Goes to irrefutably prove that there is just one Creator. You choose to call Him by whatever name, and for every one of us till the time we live. This book is a perpetual dedication to Almighty Lord. It quintessentially portrays the splendor of the Almighty Creator in His infinite forms. Goes to victoriously prove at every step that no matter how hard the devil tries to annihilate the planet, an inconspicuous tap of the Lord's finger makes him crumble to his very last non-existent frigid roots. So here is about the book. Poems depicting the omnipotent glory of the Creator in an infinite forms that the poet could ever conceive. Natural and uninhibited outpourings of the heart. These poems transport the reader into a world of spirituality and magnificence of Godhead. Every poetic piece shows Parekh's unparalleled love for the Almighty and immortalizes the omnipresent aura of the Lord in a boundless ways and shapes. This spiritually enriched compendium of poems is for all those who have timelessly admired the miraculous prowesses and powers of God at each stage of their lives. Those who have lived each instant of their lives worshipping His omniscient grace, irrespective of the most murderous hell descending around. The poetic imagery brilliantly transcends over every inhibition of caste, creed, color, and religion, and goes to perpetually prove that all living beings are one and blessed. That all living beings are one and blessed in His fathomless sacrosanct light of truth. The poems depict Parekh's oneness in mind, body, and spirit with the Creator. So now I shall be giving a recitation of different poems from this book of mine. At any juncture, of course, you can purchase this book of mine from Amazon.com. The poems that I'm about to give a recitation of are titled as Life is as Omnipotent as God. God loves all. Please do consult the Creator. And it was God who came into my life. So, I shall commence the recitation of poetry from this book with my poem titled Life is as omnipotent as God. Life is as sweet as a chocolate. Go and greedily crunch it. Life is as ravishing as the choppy ocean. Go and swim in it. Life is as dense as the deciduous forest. Go and voraciously philander in it. Life is as perspicuous as the scintillating mirror. Go and sight your reflection in it. Life is as green as the sparkling grasses. Go and exuberantly roll in it. Life is as impeccable as frosty cow's milk. Go and perseveringly gulp it. Life is as fragrant as the mesmerizing scarlet rose. Go and smell it. Life is as warm as the cozy quilt. Go and comfortably snuggle in it. Life is as voluptuous as brown chunks of mud. Go and ebulliently plow it. Life is as vivid as the rainbow in the cosmos. Go and surreptitiously perceive it. Life is as surreal as blissful heaven. Go and inexorably fantasize about it. Life is as contemporary as the swanky car. Go and drive it. Life is as slippery as the slimy oysters. Life is as slippery as the slimy oyster shells. Go and intensely feel it. Life is as thorny as the gigantic cactus. Go and prick it. Life is as poignant as green chili. Go and tenaciously chew it. Life is as heavy as the mammoth boulder. Go and skillfully hoist it. Go and skillfully hoist it. Life is as strong as the formidable fortress wall. Go and wrestle with it. Life is as grandiloquent as the bombastic palace. Go and languish in it. Life is as brilliant as the dazzling sun. Go and bask directly beneath it. Life is as dark as the cloistered well. Go and dip your persona in it. Life is as enchanting as the placid moon. Go and profoundly admire it. Life is as blistering as the scorching deserts. Go and run unrelentingly in it. Life is as beautiful as the dainty fairy. Go and gently caress it. Life is as incredulous as the conventional aircraft. Go and fly high in it. Life is as comic as the circus clown. Go and tumultuously laugh with it. Life is as steep as the lanky mountain. Go and adroitly clamber it. Life is as tingling as the gushing mountain stream. Go and uninhibitedly bathe in it. Life is as intricate as the mother's womb. Go and worship it. Life is as horrendous as the swirling whirlpool. Go and audaciously confront it. Life is as enigmatic as the meticulously spun spider's web. Go and entangle it. Life is as simple as a line drawn on the floor. Go and vigorously enjoy it. Life is as savage as a sword. Go and fight valiantly with it. Life is as vibrant as the majestic peacock spreading its feathers. Go and supremely relish it. Life is as romantic as the person you care for. Go and incorrigibly love it. Life is as sacrosanct as the omnipotent Creator. Go and wholesomely lead it. Life is as sacrosanct as the omnipotent Creator. Go and wholesomely lead it. So now, my poem titled God Loves All from this book of mine. So here is a recitation of my poem titled God Loves All. As much as He loved the rich, He wholeheartedly embraced His impoverished counterparts decaying in inexplicable pain. As much as He loved the handsomely tall, He rejoiced with His astoundingly diminutive children, wholesomely oblivious to bright light. As much as He loved the formidably strong, He caressed all those tottering towards inevitably extinction. With poignant equanimity in His omnipotent eyes. As much as He loved the grandiloquent castles, He loomed His omnipresent shadow large on the gloomy hutments. With life tumultuously acrimonious, every unleashing second. As much as He loved the sacrosanct Christians, He wholeheartedly showered His blessings on the Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, and virtually the most infinite symbol of tribe existing on this planet. As much as He loved the rhapsodic oceans, He sent inclement cloud showers of rain on the soil of the horrifically scorching deserts. As much as He loved the impeccably fair, He hoisted all those deluged with tyrannical misery and doom, bountifully showering upon the most hideously sooty organism alive. As much as He loved the insatiably romantic, He remained like an invincible shadow with all those heartbroken and devastated with the sword of insidious betrayal. As much as He loved stupendously fragrant rose, He ensured that the disdainfully slithering cockroach replenished its stomach with the blossoming gifts of forest wilderness. As much as He loved the sagacious saints, He blissfully commiserated with the rustically common man, being his guiding light to prosperity on every path he tread. As much as He loved the robustly elegant, He equally rewarded all those framework of mere skeletons with the fruits of ravishingly beautiful existence. As much as He loved the euphorically drifting clouds, He inhabited each quarter of chocolate brown mud, stretching fathomless kilometers beyond the trajectory of this planet. As much as He loved the philosophically learned, He stood like an impregnable fortress with His innocent children as they alighted their each step in life. As much as He loved the vivaciously flamboyant rainbow, He lent His omnipresent arms to the birds incarcerated brutally inside their cages. As much as he loved compassionate fireballs of heat, he imparted his omnisciently healing touch to frozen avalanches of ice. Gruesomely isolated and shivering, like newborn mice. As much as he loved the hawk-eyed flamingos, he became the heart and soul of those without the tiniest iota of sight, maneuvering them towards the ultimate of their dreams, uplifting them towards all the benevolent goodness in life. As much as he loved the dynamically fulminating island of sun, he was perennially present in the neglectedly oblivious realms of the ethereal horizons. As much as he loved the surreally fantasizing, he was always there to assist his pragmatically innocuous beings in their times of bizarre distress. As much as he loved spawning countless new each unfurling instant, he was there comfortingly smiling by your side as you got ready to blend with inevitable death. Oh yes, the immortally omnipotent soul of Almighty Lord throbs in every heart. God loves all. As much as he loved spawning countless new each unfolding instant, he was there comfortingly smiling by your side as you got ready to blend with inevitable death. Oh yes, the immortally omnipotent soul of Almighty Lord throbs in every heart. God loves all. God loves all. Now I shall be giving a recitation of my poem titled, Please Do Consult the Creator, from this book of mine. For a faint idea about the road, the places it leads to, consult the rustic and aboriginal tourist guide. For a faint idea about the body, a first-hand knowledge of its intricate parts, consult the specialist and prudent doctor. For a faint idea about the cosmos, a glimpse into the history of stars, consult the high-tech and contemporary astronaut. For a faint idea about the battlefield, the weapons used in pugnacious war, consult the intrepid warrior. For a faint idea about the garden, the fraternity of plants protruding from its ripened soil, consult the bushy-haired gardener. For a faint idea about the building, its majestic elevation towering splendidly towards the sky, consult the dexterous and skillful architect. For a faint idea about the computer, a sagacious browsing through its fundamentals, consult the software prodigy. For a faint idea about the scores of birds, the sounds they emanated while singing in melodious cadence, consult the dedicated ornithologist. For a faint idea about medieval history, the vacillations of the kingly empire, consult the monk sitting beneath the gigantic tree. For a faint idea about your destiny, the meaning of all those infinite bifurcations on your palm, consult the prudent and mystical palmist. For a faint idea about the ocean, the preposterously huge sharks lurking around in gay abandon, consult the domineering and bespectacled captain. For a faint idea about the bus, the routes it travels on and stops, consult the pot-bellied and uniformed conductor. For a faint idea about the solvents bubbling, in the laboratory, the innumerable equations scribbled rampantly on the blackboard, consult the ingenious scientist. For a faint idea about the paintings, the mesmerizing shapes sketched and evolved within the canvas, consult the gullible and unshaven artist. For a faint idea about poetry, the inexplicable meaning embedded within the royal verse, consult the innovative and indefatigably writing writer. For a faint idea about shimmering jewels, the grandiloquent chains of pearls scintillating wildly behind transparent glass, consult the wiry-bodied and lanky goldsmith. For a faint idea about catching the panther, explicitly divulging the name of the animal by merely viewing its remote footprints, consult the savage and sprint-footed African hunter. For a faint idea about solving mind-boggling puzzles of arithmetic, cracking every riddle encapsulated within the school textbooks, consult the stern and stringent voiced teacher. For a faint idea about love, romancing in the aisles of unsurpassable desire and emotion, consult your enchanting beloved. For a faint idea about interacting with the acrimonious society, consult your mother, richly experienced in adeptly dealing with the same. But for a complete idea about life, its share of good and gruesomely evil, its blissful rise and unpredictable pitfalls, the spirit of survival and letting one simultaneously exist, the origin of religion segregating entire mankind, the inevitable urge to procreate and continue this universe. Don't ask me, for I can't even give you a faint idea. All I can say is that for pacifying your present anxieties and whatever that may futuristically arise, please do consult the Creator. Don't ask me, for I can't even give you a faint idea. All I can say is that for pacifying your present anxieties and whatever that may futuristically arise, please do consult the Creator. Please do consult the Creator. Friends, now I will give you a recitation of my poem titled, "It Was God Who Came Into My Life." So here is the recitation of my poem titled, "It Was God Who Came Into My Life." I was just a minuscule bird perched on a single leaf, with the forest in the backdrop disastrously charred to raw ash. I was just a minuscule bird perched on a single leaf, with the forest in the backdrop disastrously charred to raw ash. Nobody in a million kilometers of vicinity to listen to my croaky voice. It was God who came into my life, made it a mesmerizing garden to wander about and exist. I was just a soggy matchstick, staggering every minute into appalling darkness, ready to wholesomely relinquish my last iota of light. It was God. It was God who came into my life, not only igniting it into a ball of pugnacious flames, but making them escalate high and handsome towards the sky. I was just a bleary eye. Absmally squinted and close towards daylight, sparsely able to discriminate between profound shades of black and white. It was God. It was God who came into my life, not only elevating my vision to perspicaciously clear, but imparting it the virtue to explicitly differentiate between the good and horrendously bad. But imparting it the virtue to explicitly differentiate between the good and horrendously bad. I was just an arid desert, smothering in the boisterous agony of the diabolical day, burnt to unprecedented limits with each stroke of the flamboyant sun. It was God who came into my life, inundated its parched surface with an ocean of sweet water, transformed it into a colossal meadow of green grass to gleefully philander and celestially sleep. I was just a frigid bee in my empty hive, counting the seconds left for life to finish completely, so that I could take birth as a king again. I was just a frigid bee in my empty hive, counting the seconds left for life to finish completely, so that I could take birth as a king again. It was God who came into my life. It was God who came into my life, not only deluging my dwelling with a mountain of honey, but evoking me to swarm rambunctiously with boundless of my time. I was just a stone deaf and a perpetually dumb beggar, shivering uncontrollably on the streets without a single piece of garment to engulf my body. It was God who came into my life, not only seated me on the magnificently embellished throne, but blessed me with the prowess to disseminate all my wealth prudently amongst veritably needy mankind. I was just a broken thorn, shattered shoddily into infinite pieces on the scalding ground, awaiting ruthless vehicles every unleashing minute to trespass me, crush me forever into obsolete wisps of oblivion. It was God who came into my life. Made a brilliantly sparkling sword, ready to defend myself against the most incomprehensible of evil gallivanting around. I was just a gruesomely distorted nib, trembling as the most infinitesimal draught of wind struck me in my belly. It was God who came into my life. Not only metamorphosed me into a lanky feather-tipped pen, but propelled me to emboss fathomless pages of spellbinding literature, that became the irrefutable spirit of times. I was just a bedraggled cloud without the tiniest of emotion or empathy, blown away uncouthly into wilderness with the thunderously tumultuous storm. It was God who came into my life. It was God who came into my life, found me the love of my dreams, coalesced me into immortal threads of impregnable romance for times immemorial. Coalesced me into immortal threads of impregnable romance for times immemorial. And I was just a ghastly corpse, loitering in the air without an entity of my own, waiting to be barbarically devoured and destroyed. And I was just a ghastly corpse. And I was just a ghastly corpse. Ghastly corpse, loitering in the air without an entity of my own, waiting to be barbarically devoured and destroyed. It was God who came into my life. It was God who came into my life, changed me into a robust human, deluging my chest with divinely breath, giving me a right to lead life, giving me an opportunity to tread on His paradise, giving me a chance to blissfully survive. It was God who came into my life, changed me into a robust human, deluging my chest with divinely breath, giving me a right to lead life, giving me an opportunity to tread on His paradise, giving me a chance to blissfully survive. Ladies and gentlemen, it truly was a privilege to have given this recitation of my poetry to you. It was a cherished moment of my life when I was able to talk about my book with you patrons in the world. I truly hope from the innermost corridor of my soul that you have liked this video. At any juncture of your existence, of course, you can purchase my book titled One God, Poems on God Creator Volume 2 from Amazon.com. Thank you for listening to me.